Robin Leach, VegasDeluxe.com. He's a big fan of yours.
Robin Leach?
Yes.
I know Robin.
He loves you.
Hi.
Great, good seeing you again.
You too. Bye.
Thanks to the fat ears. I am excited. I'm beyond excited. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm sure to drive a stick, but I am actually done. The UFC fans told me good. Yes, sir?
That was awesome. That was great, man.
Yes. Jenna. My name's Jenna.
I was told that fat ears. My fat ears said I won this never eating.
Oh, wait, hold on.
You mean to tell me fat ears is not?
Thank
Anyway,
you.
I'm never eating?
Yeah, one second. I'll just write that down.
Very big disappointment for me.
Sorry, sir, to disappoint you, but
Vai começar, o Dana já entrou aqui.
It was a sellout tonight. The attendance was 15,016. The gate was $7 million, the biggest US gate in UFC history. Fight of the night was Tito Ortiz and Forrest Griffin. Knockout of the night was Anderson Silva, and there were no submissions. They won $75,000 each. Congratulations. We're waiting for Anderson. He's wrapping things up. He's been doing a ton of interviews. Forrest probably ran home. And who's got the first question?
Jill.
Oh.
Jill, right to your right. Jill.
Jill.
Obviously, can you just kind of tell us where you go from here? What happens next for you?
Well, I'm going to get my aunt a lobster tail. I'm going to take a shower. And I'm going to hopefully get a good night's sleep.
Can you talk to us about what, if anything, you and Anderson talked about right after the fight? Obviously, he invited you to a barbecue, which was interesting.
I thought it was very nice of him. I think it's very important when you lose a fight that you don't say things like, my opponent was better tonight. The better guy wins every time. The better guy won tonight.
And Dana, as you're watching that first round, are you kind of having like a deja vu feeling from 2 years ago?
When Anderson has gone into the past against strong wrestlers like Dan Henderson, that's what the first round looked like. Chael got him. I said before the fight, and I'll say it again, Chael, not only does he talk a mean game, he goes in and he fights, man. He said that he wasn't afraid of Anderson Silva, and then he went in and he fought Anderson Silva like he wasn't. Anderson Silva came out in the second round and did what he did. And I've said this before, and I will say it again, he's the greatest fighter in the history of mixed martial arts.
And with the Forrest situation, not the first time you've had him leave an arena like that, probably the first time you've had to chase somebody down, halfway back to the locker room. Can you talk about what you said to him when you finally caught up to him?
He drives me crazy, this guy. It's like professional suicide.
Yeah.
The things he does, people love Forrest Griffin, okay? So I ran after him, and I mean, do I really have to tell you guys what everybody in this room knows exactly what I said to him, right? So he turned around and he ran back into the ring, and then I met him back in the hall. I said, "What are you doing? What's wrong with you? Are you mental?" and he said, "I was really depressed." And I said, "Well, the next time you're depressed about winning a fight, go back in the back and be depressed, okay? Stand up there. It's Tito's last night. You know what I mean? Tito just won his fight. Stand there, get your hand raised or Tito's hand raised. Do your interview and go, if you're bummed out, do it in the back, all right? And if you're bucking for Joe Rogan's fucking job, it isn't gonna happen. That's Joe's job. Leave the microphone alone until Joe comes over and talks to you. You know, it drives me crazy. I love Forrest Griffin, always have. He's a great guy, but he gets a little kooky sometimes, you know?
Tito, congratulations. Just wanted to congratulate you on your career and being inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Question is for Chael. Chael, to your left. Can you talk about the final sequence? First, the spinning back fist. What was going on there? And also, there seems to be some question about whether Anderson was holding onto your trunks and whether that prevented you from moving the way you might have wanted to move to get away from some of the punches. Can you comment on those two things?
Yeah, Anderson grabbed my trunks, but I grabbed his right back, man. It goes both ways, and we can't sit and nitpick, you know, some of that stuff. It's a two-man sport. It's kind of like moving the chains in football. It evens itself out. What goes around comes around. If Anderson grabbed my shorts tonight, I'll grab somebody else's down the road.
And Chael, the spinning back fist, I mean, was that something, you know, we haven't seen you throw a lot of those. Was that something that you looked at on tape and thought maybe he might be vulnerable to?
Yeah, you know, there's always some opportunities. You know, you're always trying to work on your skills. I feel like a doofus because I fell down, but you know, we're in the middle of battle. There were some parts out there where I felt really good, and there were some parts that really hurt, including the end.
And then last question, in the